Hello and welcome to Flagstaff TV. Today we are joined by Werner Klingenberg, who is the CEO of Goldplat. Thank you for joining us today, Werner.
Thank you, Catherine.
Werner, can you start by giving us an overview of Goldplat and what it is that you do?
Well, Catherine, I think in essence what Goldplat is a gold recovery business. I think I like to describe us as a niche industrial processor of byproducts generated by the gold and platinum industry in South Africa, West Africa, and also the remainder of Africa. We also have clients in South America. We've got two plants, one based in Ghana and one based in South Africa. And we basically process fine carbons, wood chips, contaminated soils and other discards produced by the industry to recover the remainder of gold and also to dispose of it in an environmental friendly manner.
Thank you, Werner. Werner, can you talk us through your recent results, please?
Well, I think, the last period was exceptional in terms of Goldplat's history. We had record operational results from our continued operations, which is basically the recovery business. We achieved an operational profit before finance cost of £5.6 million. That is up from £1 million the previous period. That also translated to net profit from continued operations of about £3 million, which is up tenfold from £300,000 in the previous period. During the year, we did make some strategic changes, resulting in us impairing our exploration and mining segment, and there we've incurred impairment losses. Everything was non-cash flow of about £4 million, and we ended up with a loss on discontinued operations of about £5.2 million.
Thank you, Werner. Can you tell us a little bit more about your operations in South Africa and Ghana?
Well, Catherine, both these operations have been in business for more than 15 years. The West African business basically focuses on processing of byproducts, fine carbons, steel liners, and rubber liners from the industry in Ghana. And we're also opening up the West African market where we see the biggest opportunity being. We've also increased our footprint in South America, where we're sourcing material from, actually the whole of South America, specifically Brazil, and we got material out of Peru as well. In South Africa, we do exactly the same to support the big gold industry, as well as the platinum industry in South Africa. But we also focus on processing contaminated soils, which is built up over the last 100 years of gold mining in South Africa. And that section of our business probably contribute around 20 kilograms of gold per month to production in South Africa.
And what about your business in Kenya?
Well, I think the business in Kenya is actually it's a mining operation. It's our only producing mine, and has been in Goldplat PLC since 2009. And that was part of the original strategy when we listed, was to use the gold recovery business to grow an exploration and junior mining gold business in Africa. Subsequently, the exploration assets in Burkina Faso has been impaired and discontinued. Similarly, we've have abandoned our gold project in Ghana during the current period, and that's where part of the impairments is coming from. But the business in Kenya, we've been looking for ways of funding it, and after year end on 31st July, we've signed a binding term sheet agreement with Mayflower, who intends to buy the whole mine from us, and then to raise $4 million to fund the operation. And in return, we are going to get 1.5 million shareholding in the listed vehicle that will ultimately own Kilima Pesa, plus a net royalty of 1.5 million. 1% capped at 1.5 million.
Thank you, Werner. You stated previously that you're moving away from mining. Why is that?
Well, Catherine, I already indicated, when we listed in 2006, the intention was to use the working capital generated by the recovery business to build up a junior miner. I think with time, although the recovery businesses performed well, it didn't generate sufficient capital to be able to fund the exploration and mining side properly. And I think we just came to a point where we realized that if we are not going to invest and fund the exploration and mining side appropriately, it's better to find different ways and move either away from it or find other ways of funding it. The decision was made in the beginning of the year that we would rather de-invest from mining and focus on our strength, which is the recovery business.
Thank you, Werner. And the team that you have in place at Goldplat, can you tell us a little bit about them and their backgrounds?
Well, we've got as Chief Operating Officer, we've got Hansie van Vreden, who is a metallurgist, and that comes from the old AngloGold Ashanti. Worked with them after he completed his studies for about 10 years. We still have a few of the original founders of the business, Ian Versage as a director, and Dr. Bob Smith, who's a chemical engineer, who's also assisting us on a day-to-day basis. And I think in between all of them, they've got years of experience specifically in how to treat and handle contaminated material that we receive from the mines. And that's really where our niche is in the industry, is that we've got various small industrial processes and plants to process different types of material. In the end, the material we receive differ batch to batch in terms of grade and quality, and it needs unique skills to be able to find the best route of processing.
Sounds like you have a good team there. And how has the coronavirus pandemic affected your business?
I think we've been fortunate, Catherine, in that the gold industry and mining industry in both Ghana and South Africa has been classified as an essential service quite early on. In South Africa, we've lost 25 days during the regional lockdown, but then could come back quite quickly. As the gold mines didn't need to shut down for a long period, they kept on producing byproducts. And actually, we were benefited. With the gold price increasing and the emergency markets currencies losing value against the dollar, the gold price actually increased about 25%. And all of that assisted us in generating the profits that you're seeing in the last period.
So has your company strategy changed at all given the current market conditions?
The one thing about Goldplat is obviously we're getting a lot of different sources and resources in. One thing that has assisted us with a higher gold price, we've got the ability to process lower grade material, which really increases the current stock on hand that can be processed economically. So that gives us the ability to plan a bit more long term. But apart from that, I don't think our strategy has really changed. I think as we haven't been impacted that significantly, it's more a case of ensuring that we provide a good quality services to the mine and to increase our reach.
Thank you, Werner. And do you have any other updates for investors that you'd like to share with us today?
Well, Catherine, I think the most important message to the shareholders is the one we've already conveyed around us moving away from exploration and mining. I think the one item on the agenda that investors probably would like to know more about is the final processing of our tailings storage facility in South Africa. It's built up over the last 20 years and it contains close to 2 million tons by now. We've done a JORC compliant resource over that facility in 2016 when it contained 1.4 million tons. And at that point, we've defined 82,000 ounces at a grade of 1.78 grams per ton. Now, it's our strategy and aim to find a solution to process or do a final processing of that material. We believe that there is value in processing that material, and I think we are gaining a lot of traction in terms of doing so. We've done a lot of studies. We continue to do studies to find optimum processes to recover as much as possible. And I think more importantly, to find the capacity to do that. I mean, we can't process that through our current facility. We will be able to, however, that means we can't process current arisings. So the focus would be to say, well, what plant do we need to set up? Where are we going to construct the tailings facility for final deposition? Or are we going to make use of a third party? And that's really where the focus is for the next 12 months.
Thank you, Werner, for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you, Catherine. Appreciated your time.
And thank you for watching Flagstaff TV.